Hello everyone. Welcome to the Corso Workshop live stream. I am Kurt and it's another Sunday, so we get to what's up with my hair? So we get to do continue another bit of last week's Jesus. My hair is all over the place today. We're joined by Chief today. Trisha's with me in the garage. It's a very warm Sunday. Summer is becoming a little bit too unbearable for my taste. Never been much of a summer guy. But yeah. Hi Mel. Hello. Still trying to get my hair fixed, but it's not working. I need to get a haircut. Yeah, maybe with a lawnmower. Anyway, so how are you doing? How's everyone doing? How was this week? Any interesting projects? Any interesting, crafts or anything? Any interesting events at all that happened? We'll have Chief on chat duty today soon. In a few minutes, she's getting everything settled and sorted. But to sort of, yeah. Melissa says hi, Master Chisha. Hello. Hello. So, yeah, to sort of recap where we left off last time. Last time we essentially made a belt, kind of a different belt. This is meant to be used as a guitar strap. Okay. My brother has a guitar. I didn't get in the garage with me today, so if you'd like to see what it looks like, hop on and you can see last week's live stream. It should be up and running somewhere on the channel. Have a playlist. And basically we made this vegetable tan leather belt. We dyed it brown and antiqued it sort of to match the guitar, and we succeeded. It comes in two parts because obviously there are two anchoring points on the body of the guitar. Okay. However, since last week, I noticed that we'll need to punch a few more holes to make it a little bit tighter, make it a little bit too long for my brother's use. And other than that, we're going to be making the shoulder pad today, which is something that can rest over his shoulder while he's carrying it, because this being a little bit too narrow will exert a little bit of pressure. So yeah, so this is important to kind of make it comfortable while using. So I have some material with me. You might see it on camera. I've got some wadding. I think I'll be using the black sheepskin leather. We'll go over the materials soon, so there's that. But first I think we should get this sort of hole punching out of the way. Just touched up with a little bit of dye. I still have some left from last time. This one. So we'll use that. Okay, just touch up the holes that we leave after we expose the dye. So first of all, I need to remember which hole punch I used, but I seem to recall it was this one, and yeah, this looks about right. Yeah. Let me check for you. I should be on the one of my room. Okay, good, no problem. Okay, so let's start with the hole punching. I'll just get that out of the way immediately. I'm going to turn over to the second camera. We can see what I am up to as we start. Okay, good. Okay, everything's clear, everything's in picture. Good, we'll be working on this. Cool. So I need to mark. Just need to take an approximate measurement of like where the hole needs to be. That's about middle. So I think somewhere over there should be fine. Okay, rawhide mallet. I think it's closer to the top than it is to the bottom, so we'll adjust a little bit. That looks okay. It's good. Let's do another hole. Somewhere over there. And let's do one last hole for completeness sake. Right. So yes, we need to touch up those holes a little bit. Very simply done using. You can even use a brush. It's not the right brush. This is sorry. Okay, so I have an old model brush. Same mixture as I used last time. We'll continue using it today even. I'm just going to just go around the inside and just brush a bit of dye. It's okay if I get dye on the surface, it's not going to be absorbed.
It's always great to see you working in the mornings. You motivate me to go to the atelier and craft.
That's cool. I'm really looking forward to your work, and I'm really looking forward to our collaborative idea. Got something in the works, which I cannot reveal just yet because it is related to another secret project that Mel and I and some other friends are working on. So you have to stay tuned. Yes, you do. Oh no, the one of us now we don't. But I mean, it's a cool thing. You'll approve. Okay. So now, I've been thinking throughout the week on how to actually go about and making this shoulder pad because it's going to be a little bit tricky. First of all, I've never done it, so I never made a shoulder pad of this sort. So I'm not quite sure what to make or how to make it. Let's say that. But I do have some ideas that I would like to try out. If it doesn't work out, it's fine. We can always go back to the drawing board. It's a little bit of wasted material, I know, but it's the cost of learning, and that's fine. In the meantime, just clean out my tools just to have everything ready for when I'll need it. Okay, this seems to be blocked. We'll deal with that some other time, and this again. This can go just okay. Yeah, okay. Cool. So I need some paper to start off with because I'm going to start with a little bit of a sketch. So for one thing, I know that the shoulder pad needs to slot through this belt, and I think if I manage to, okay, so this slot punch isn't wide enough to pass this belt through, so I'm going to need to do it into bits, which is fine, easily done, not a problem. So how wide do I want this? Let's work on that at least. Just a little bit easier to work with. So how wide do I want this shoulder pad to be? Now, honestly, I'm not quite sure. I'm sort of going to eyeball it. So something like this, about 10 centimeters wide, I think should be enough. So we're talking about something which is, 10 centimeters wide. How long do we want it to be? Not very long, to be honest, but long enough so that it doesn't move about. So maybe about, usually these things are longer than they are wide, so yeah, about 20 centimeters long, which should be okay. So a 10 by 20 piece of area. Okay, now I'm thinking of having this made in two pieces. So if this is the belt passing through, okay, and this is a cross section, so the belt is like this. Might be a little bit hard to see on camera because of the pencil. Can you see on camera? What's wrong? Oh, I thought you were watching on the laptop. Okay, no problem. Perfect. Okay, so if this is the belt, okay, like so, the shoulder pad will be like this. So I was thinking maybe I could have like a layer of vegetable tanned leather on top, okay, which is, and then underneath a layer of like a cushion of sheepskin leather with wadding inside, and I have wadding right over here. It's very cheap. I think this was €2, and I used this bag for I think Halloween and like a bunch of other things, so it's pretty cheap. I'm not quite sure whether this would gel, whether this would work, so I'm thinking like maybe a cushion would be something like a you know, a rectangle, well, longer obviously, a longer rectangle. I'm thinking maybe, I don't know, stitching it like flat and then sewing the edges. I could use my sewing machine probably for that. It's thin enough leather to work, should work, being the operative word, of course. I think that's actually what I'm going to start by testing, trying to sew a piece of sheepskin leather. And once I have that done, then I can, you know, check on the actual dimensions of the vegetable tan leather and move on from there. So I think first we're going to make a leather cushion. Okay. So a leather cushion. I think I need to set up my sewing machine before we actually get started. Okay. Maybe this time we'll have a little bit more immediate luck with it. Okay, let me just fix it in place. I just need it not to move around, that's all. Okay, now that goes up. I think the bobbin underneath might have finished. Okay, so why it's getting a bit stuck. Magnet. Okay. Now, yep, the bobbin is empty. I'm just going to wind up the bobbin very quickly. I'm not going to show it on camera. I mean, you've seen me do this before. It's not difficult at all. It's just, you know, winding the bobbin. So this goes. So this I need to. Huh, okay. I could do with that. I could fix that screw in a little bit tighter because I think it's letting the. No, I know. I'm just going to wind the bobbin quickly because I need to work on the cutting mat soon. I'm just going to wind the bobbin so that when I need to get going, I can just go ahead and start. Okay, so winding. Now this will go this way. So it needs to go on like this. Why do I never manage to do it properly? Okay, let's do it like this. Come on. Okay, so the thing is, the plate which holds the bobbin down against the wheel is sort of moving about, and for some reason it's not winding the bobbin. Okay, so I need to go like this. This plate is really annoying. Let's try it like this. Well, clearly we're not having success today.
No, you type Melody sewing machine 5, Clarke 1.
Yeah.
I think it's quite generous of her to have given you the 1.
I did manage to be somewhat successful last time. Yeah, I'm just going to wind it by hand. I think it's just easier. I need to make like a winding jig.
Sorry, it's just
No, I mean, she's right. Interesting content. Hmm? Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. I never give up on my tools. So like, because it works. It did work last time I used it. So this must be like a meme by now. Maybe I could, um, put it on a T-shirt or something. I need to fix it. It's got something on it, like it's slipping away. I need to fix that plate. Yeah. So I think this might be enough for now. Okay, I'm just going like the bobbin wound. Just going to pass this through here. I'm not going to show you how to set up the machine because honestly I'm not so familiar with it myself. I can recommend a couple of channels though who may be able to better assist you in that way. I'll need to remember them, but I can leave them in the description. So this goes from here to here.
Don't need more tweaking because it definitely works.
Yeah, completely right. So I noticed something because my mother was using my sewing machine 2 days ago, and she couldn't get it to work. And then I noticed that she didn't put in the bobbin properly because our sewing machines have a very specific way to input the bobbin. I don't know if maybe that could be what you're doing. Huh? Clockwise and non-clockwise, then you need to lock it in properly. So it could be that. So yeah. Because I've always had very good results with the sewing machine, with the actual sewing machine, like
No, when it works, it gives nice results. It's just that half the time I try to use it doesn't work.
Oh.
That's why one time I just set it up with lemons and then
Okay, so that goes there. I can close. Goes there, and finally, I think I may have done this wrong. I just need to go here and then there. I know, doesn't matter. I'm just going to thread the needle and I'm going to start working on the actual cushion. Okay, that goes in there. I may have threaded it wrong, but we'll see soon. I just need to swap around. Okay, so goes there. Let's get some leather out. I think I have some scraps. I think this, no, that's too small. I have this piece, and I have this piece. So let's see what we can use from these scraps. So this is definitely big enough. So I'll put it aside for now. I need let's give it about 1 centimeter extra, so then we can trim it down to our liking. So does this give me 10 centimeters? No, this does not give me 10 centimeters. So this one's definitely out of the question. This one I would assume as well. So back to the big one. Anyway, cool. Okay, put this aside for a bit. That aside for a bit. Okay, so I need to mark a 10 centimeter by 20. And what I'm going to do, I think, If I set up my wing divider for 10 centimeters, if it allows me to, because it might only go up to 9. No, it goes up to 12. So that is 10 centimeters. Now, I think if I... Okay, so on the back it doesn't show as much. Maybe on the front it will be a little bit better. Now, my idea is this. If I hold a straight edge, I might be able to mark a 20 centimeters square with little issues. Nope, there is a lot of issues, so let's do it properly. Oh well, I try new stuff. I try just now. Okay, so let's go. So we've got 20 over here. That is 20. Okay, I'm going to get. Don't have this. I need a smaller 90-degree angle ruler. This is getting a little bit, tiny bit ridiculous. I know that that is where we go. So it is 10 to there, and I need to go to 20 over here. So I want it a bit larger than 20, don't I? I don't know why I do this to myself. I'm not working properly. So let's have another look. So this is the straight line. So this goes into 11, just about there. Now, if from here I can take another mark, say this is 11, then I should be able to just line those two lines up. Hoping it doesn't go off a piece of leather by much. In fact, it does. So I'm going to have to work with 10. Yeah. So that goes over there. 20. And then just cut another 90 over here. Okay, now so what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut out with some shears so as to try and minimize as much as possible the warping of the leather. Finding it a little bit difficult to see where I'm cutting because of the way the light is reflecting, but okay. We just need to cut this extra piece. Okay, we don't mind that extra line over there, it's fine, it's going to be the back piece. Now I'm just going to copy this to have a second piece. Okay, I'm going to use the same approximate line. I'm just going to mark the corners. 2 coming. Okay, J. Goes there. Hey there. Low skill tree. Clever. So this needs to make it a little bit better. Now I should be able to just mark these corners. So that goes there. Might be a little bit hard to see on camera, these marks, but I am scribing the leather using the light reflection to my advantage this time. Okay. This goes here. This goes here. So that is extra. Scrap. Now I believe this is a chrome 10, so it will kind of resist some of, like, you know, moisture, sweat, water, that sort of thing, which is perfect for when you are playing the guitar in the hot summer months. So this should be quite resistant to deterioration. Which is one of the reasons why I didn't want to make it completely out of vegetable tanned leather, for the simple reason the vegetable tanned leather tends to keep on absorbing moisture unless you like wax infuse it or wax boiling it. No? Okay, so those are our two pieces. These can be left for scrap so we can test out the sewing machine on them. So what I am going to do first is put these together. You need to see that they are almost identical, good enough for our case. So I'm going to just use a little bit of contact cement on the inside on 3 sides, so that once it dries completely, I can sew it on 3 sides, fill it with wadding, and then sew the last edge shut. Okay, so that is the plan, at least. So let's see how well we manage to stick to it. Oh, it's better this way. So let's start with some gluing on. Okay, out of the way. Goes there, and it goes there. Okay, and I've got to check the inlay now. The first one is almost BST. My first BST. Huh? No, because I can't post selling home. Okay, so glue seems to be a little bit stuck. Just notice everyone. Alright, just everyone letting everyone know that. Okay. Okay, so remember, contact cement is one of those materials which is incredibly versatile, incredibly useful. Well, versatile. It only has like one purpose, which is gluing stuff, but you know, it's very useful. So just run a small bead along the edge, about half a centimeter in, on 3 sides, and I'm going to leave that side open. So I'm going to be contact cementing this side as well. this side, of course on the other, on the mating part. Making sure not to get any glue on this edge. Yeah, okay, it stinks a little bit, so make sure that you have a fan on, you know, in a well ventilated area. And then spread the glue and wait until it is tacky but not wet. That's important, okay? Tacky but not wet. And I can already feel that it's almost at that stage, so I need to hurry up a little bit because obviously Maltese weather kind of ends up messing with some of my glue ups. So try to work fast as I can. It is really incredible. Okay, I think I got some of the glue on there. It's fine. Okay, move. Cool. Done. Let's clean it up. Make sure we don't get any glue on the surface of the leather. Okay, you can see it much better on camera than I can, to be honest. But yeah, the glue is there. Now these are the mating parts. Ooh, we'll take care of that in a second, okay? Because I messed up a little bit. As I said, this luckily is the top part, okay? So now this, just you can feel it's tacky, but definitely not wet. So I'm just going to lay it there, and once it contacts, it starts to adhere. So I don't have a lot of leeway once it contacts. I may be able to sort of pull it apart a little bit and sort of re-tack it on. Just a glue booger, and because it's a chrome tanned leather, usually you can manage to sort of wipe away those extra pieces of glue, bits of glue. So I usually like to take like a poly mallet and just hit it on the side, or if you have a glue roller like this, you can go ahead and press the glue bond together. Don't worry if they don't match up perfectly just yet. It's fine. We're going to go ahead and trim that in the end, so that's not such a big deal. The glue up is there, and it's very important to be there so that I am able to sew the edge. Okay, that's the thing. So thank you very much. I appreciate it a lot. Clever. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you, man. Okay, hydrate, as Arpis Aurea often tells us. Cool. All right, now that this is done, we still have one opening, this opening over here, okay, so that we can fill with wadding once we stitch it shut. You can see there's a, you probably can see there's a little bit of imperfection, so we'll have to make do with that. And this is a nice slippery kind of leather, so the belt won't really friction a lot against it once it is sandwiched. I think it holds enough to keep in place. Okay, so it feels like it's okay. Let me get in front of the camera. The shoulder pad goes there. I think it shall be fine. Okay, now's the dreaded moment. Sewing. So let's try with a folded piece, and I'm using a folded piece so that they sort of move together. Okay. Let's see if I have it done. I'll do a quick test on the sewing machine first, and then I will move the camera so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. See, no, I have it set up incorrectly. Yeah. I think so. Yes, it's just set up incorrectly. Okay. I just threaded the needle the wrong way around. It happens to me sometimes. So yeah, that's what I was afraid of happening. There, and then press your foot up, and that should be it. Okay, so this could be I'm doing it the other way around. Could be that that was the right way and I just needed to increase tension. But doesn't seem like it's a bad stitch. It's just okay. Never mind. Let's just get rid of this and try again. I was going to hold the threads together while I sew. Okay, it doesn't seem to have any issue going through the leather like we usually have, so good on that front. Okay, yeah, that's a decent stitch we can use. Perfect. Okay. Okay, so let's get started on this. Okay. Need a little bit more thread from the top, thread from the bottom. Don't need any more contacts, and actually I might need it later, so let's leave it on the side. I'll set up the camera. I really need a second webcam. I really need a second webcam. Huh? You've given me all of yours. Oh, those. Oh no, those are. I think I left those at university, to be honest. They were like 144p. You couldn't even see like a 1 pixel by 1 pixel. Okay, so you should be able to see the sewing machine properly over here. Let me move it a little bit further back, so you see a bit more of the sewing machine. Now, getting the right side sewn is very important. I am going to be working this way. Yeah, okay. I'm going to start from this edge, work my way around, and then double back a little bit. So, wish me luck. Let's just start by. Let's try and use the edge of the leather as a guide. Tying a little knot at the back as well, so that the thread doesn't get unraveled. It shouldn't once I back up a little bit, but yeah. So here goes. Okay, I'm going to go around and do a few more stitches this way. Nope. Oh wait, is it working or not? Is there a thread? Yes, there is a thread. Okay, I'm not sure.
You're so quick to assume it's not working.
Yeah. Bless you. Okay, there's a little bit of a loose thread on the top, so maybe you can tighten it a little bit. I'm trying to sort of increase a little bit of tension. It's sort of like every few bits it has that like extra kind of loop, but I mean, we'll see how this goes. Okay, so I'm going to have to come over here. Okay, so except for those few imperfections, it could be a matter of tensioning. I seem to have gotten it down. No. I'm just going to still tie a knot over here just to be safe and then cut off the rest. Cut off the excess, just a simple thumb knot, like double overhand. Should do it. Okay, good. So that's one there. This one doesn't seem to have tightened properly, so I'll tighten that a little bit better. Move my camera over to this side. Okay. So maybe I can undo this knot. I like it idea to undo it, but let's. To be fair, I think this is good enough. Like that. Okay. We should have a pouch. Okay, I have a pouch over here. So now I will take some of the wadding, stuff it in there, and then sew the edge shut to have a small cushion. Yeah. So let's hope this works now. So I don't think I've ever made cushions. You have, yeah. Well, I kind of did when we made those Halloween ghosts to decorate the porch with Eliza last October. Ooh. Okay, so I'll have to actually push down a little bit better in there. See if I can use the ruler. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Camera should be a little bit better now. Apologies for the cable. Can't really do otherwise at the moment, so I can feel wadding in here. Okay. I don't want it to be too fluffed up, too plump, so I think this will do it. Soft enough. It feels good, so I think this will do. So I'm just going to put some contact cement on that edge and then sort of shut it like that. Yeah. That's enough for now. Hydrate. Ah, sounds like a dream, man. Though I'll be honest. Okay. Let's just clean up. Got a little bit of a frayed end over here. Just clean it up. I wish I could spend all day scripting and like just having coffee. I would love to have that experience, like where you go to like a coffee shop with your laptop and you write scripts. I think I did it a couple of times when I was a student though. Like I used to go and study in coffee shops. I used to enjoy it a lot. Excuse me. So let's glue things up. Just a small dab of glue over there. Excuse me. Okay, just going to. Oh, yeah. here for now. Get rid of excess glue. Wait just a few moments until that is tacky but not wet. It's still wet. You can feel it wet. So yeah. Let's have a look at the stream doing fine. Cool. Today might be a little bit of a shorter stream if you are just joining us. I announced earlier that tonight at 9:30 British Standard Time, which would be 10:30 Central European Time, plus I think 7 or 8 hours if you live in Mexico or like the USA. And I'll be speaking as a guest on the Makers Waffle podcast with Andy Pugh and Jamie Reeder. But I've taken up the mantle from the Makers International podcast, which was huge, and they're doing such a bang up, such a good job. I can't wait I can't wait for tonight. So I'm really excited to be on that podcast. They're great makers, and yeah, I'm sure it'll be fun. So if you'd like to join, make sure to tune in.
I like working in coffee shops. Alas, I need to write scripts and
Yeah.
there's a role of the
Yeah, you're right. I might have the opportunity to frequent coffee shops to write scripts because my future projects may not be footage dependent. So yeah, hydrate. Yeah, thank you, Matt. Okay, so I think we may have let this dry a little bit too much. Let's see if we can still make it. Oh yeah, definitely. Cool. Okay. So I'm just going to go over it with the roller to make sure it is adhesive properly, and I'm just going to sew it shut using the sewing machine as we've been doing for some time. Okay, now okay, cool, stays there. Make sure I get both layers on this, so I'm going to start somewhere over there. I'm going to tighten this to see if I that goes there. Okay, so forward a little bit, turn it around to do a bit of a reverse stitch, and then I see we have a little issue. So I am not going to be doing a reverse stitch because yeah, I think the bobbin. Okay, yeah, the bobbin finished. That's what happened. It's okay. At least that's not the worst thing that could have happened. It might be a little bit difficult to try and get all the holes aligned again, but I'm sure we'll manage. I can just do a line like a little bit inwards from here. So I just need to unpluck this. Unfortunately, I do not have a seam ripper here. I do have an Exacto. Yeah, but I don't feel like getting out my sewing machine. Okay, just okay. Okay, that's cleaned up. There's no more thread in there. It's okay. It's good to know that the glue is still holding up, so that's good news for me. Because I've probably done it with just the glue and then stitched it together by hand, but I'm still going to have to stitch it by hand because of the vegetable tan leather anyway. So we will get to it though. Okay, let's wind up a bit more thread in the bobbin. Oh no, this need. Oh crap! I think I may have. it's set up properly. We'll see. Because I might have messed the timings and moved the case, the bobbin case a bit. Anyway, shall we give the bobbin winder another try, Chief? Huh? Look what's that? Look, this is my problem. See? Like this bobbin winder, this thing has like this rubber wheel which should contact on the flywheel over here, and theoretically it should just turn around with it. The problem is that once I do that, it hops and goes behind it, and obviously I cannot wind it then, so it ends up just damaging it. The reason is that whoever made this didn't make the screw in the middle. If they did, this would never have been a problem. Honestly, I think I'm just going to trying to strong arm it into a little bit of submission. Probably if I bend the metal a little bit down. This is working fine. The other way doesn't work. So let's see if we can get it to work this way. Okay, so it's going this way. I'm just winding, hand winding the bobbin a little bit, and then why do I always get stuck with? Okay. I usually used to think that like mechanical, like manual stuff should be easier than like automatic ones, but I was so wrong. I don't know why I ever thought that, to be honest. Such a stupid notion as well. Okay. That, that. We just need to do one line. We just need to do one line and we'll be okay. Excuse me? Yeah, sure. That's a good idea, Chief. Let's put it to a vote to the people in chat and people watching the live stream. Will you prefer doing things by hand like the men will, or a sort of rustic way of doing things, or do you prefer like having like power tools and machinery? Okay, that's as much as we can give it because started winding against that thing. I think we have enough to work with. So this is the extra stuff. Get this out of the way. Be the other way around like this. Okay, sounds easier. Yeah.
Handmade.
I had no doubt that you preferred handmade stuff, man. I'm getting peckish now. Excuse me? Yeah, definitely. I mean, there are machines that you can embroider with. There are sewing machines you can give them a pattern and do embroidery with, but I was told they're either very expensive or they obviously they do not offer the custom user experience, at least not for the average maker out there. See, I prefer handmade stuff. I prefer making stuff by hand, but I am not opposed to the concept of efficiency. So if it's like drilling like a bunch of holes, obviously I'm not going to be doing it by hand. because you get more consistent and quicker results just doing it with a proper driller, you know. Uh, However, like hand stitching, maybe because I have a bad experience with sewing machine, I'll be honest. But I do prefer hand stitching, and I really don't like hand stitching in general. Of all the skills that I learned in in leather working, um, hand stitching is probably the least favorite.
Clever said. Depends on the thing. Most crafts I'm trying to get my end vision, so tools let me get there more
It's
efficiently.
true.
But things like starting a campfire and
Yeah,
other rustic art, I enjoy the process.
yeah,
Don't
I know
buy
what you
half
mean.
that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I get that. I get that. Okay. Okay. That goes in. Goes there. And okay. Well, I mean, if we manage to get one loop out, it means that it's not out of sync. So that is super. Okay, that seems to be about the same position we started with earlier. Okay, let's give it another go. I think camera position like that is should be fine. This may be a little bit better. Okay, let's go. Do the reverse stitch, and then we continue back. Reverse stitch at the back, and then we finish back again. Oh, for a second I got pride there. Perfect. Okay. You can just tighten it a little bit, get rid of any loose stitches that we have. Cool. Okay. Happy with that. Let's move the camera back in position. We are done with the sewing machine for today. I can even get it out of the way. Whew, 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 whew. Cool. So totally get what you mean, guys. By the handmade. Like there's an appeal to certain rustic and handmade items, and I appreciate that. I do appreciate that a lot. In fact, this is how this channel, like not this channel, like this is how Corso Workshop started. Board 3D used to be like very technological, very like 3D printing. Okay, prop making using 3D printing. We used to do like woodworking, obviously, and I still want to do some woodworking. It's just I don't have the patience for it nowadays. Um, Especially with MDF, it's just too much of a hassle to clean up afterwards. Um, so yeah, let's get rid of these little things. And okay, so the cushion seems to be quite okay. It just needs to redistribute some of the wadding. Okay, quite like that. A nice square piece of stuff. Okay, so this is the bad side. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a scratch so I can see it a little bit better. This is the side that I'm going to be using for the top, which mates with the vegetable tanned leather. Now I need some more space to work in, or to work on rather. Okay. Just like this. Put it there. Okay. Okay. This just needs to go in its place. Perfect. Now we have a little bit more space to work on. I don't need this anymore, so we can keep this for scrap for next time. This we don't need anymore, so we can clean up a little bit as well. Huzzah! Indeed. I declare Mastercard winner against sewing machine. Yeah, man, feels good when it works, though. I'll be honest. It's such an amazing feeling to see, like machinery work as intended. Like, recently, I've been having a huge machinery vibe. I've been playing a lot of Minecraft, but modded Minecraft in the sense that we have engines and nuclear power and like going to the moon and that sort of thing. Like machinery is like on my mind recently. Huzzah! Has worked. Excuse me. Cool. Okay, let me just wind this up. I was telling everyone how like mechanically minded I am recently because I'm playing a lot of like Minecraft with like engines and that sort of thing. Excuse me? Which never worked the first time. Like my friend Paul and I are playing on the same sort of server, working together, and like we spend like 15 minutes making stuff and then like 3/4 of an hour swearing at something which doesn't work, which should work. Anyway, so okay, so we're on to like part 2.5 of this project, and I'm going to be using some vegetable tan leather. I'm going to use particularly thicker kind, which is the same thickness as the belt, but I want this to be a little bit stiff and rigid. I might have smaller scraps for this use. This might be enough. Yeah, this might be enough. Okay, cool. Maybe that. Yeah. Excuse me? Minnie? Of course. Hello, Minerva. Hi, Albi. Oh, Albi. Come on, come on, let's say hello to everyone. 1, 2, 1, 2, hoppa. Hello to everyone, Minerva. What Lady Minerva? Come on. She's been staying with me all weekend because my parents are in a summer home, really, and they couldn't take her with them. They usually do. So she's been spending a lot of time with me. Okay, so trying to see if this is enough leather for this purpose. And I'm not quite sure how to fix it. How to fix it? I probably will use some sort of contact cement. Yeah. Probably some contact cement. This seems like an excellent piece of leather. I might just dye it after attaching it because I can just. I mean, dye won't affect this sheepskin. Glue it and put everything on top. Yes, I don't know if that is possible. I do have clamps which I can use. I just don't want to wet the leather, the vegetable leather, because otherwise it forms with like the marks on. Okay, cool. I think at this point I'm just going to go ahead and try gluing it. I'm going to glue one side at a time. Should I go for a little bit more? So, to be fair, I think this should be fine. Now I'm going to use the bigger piece of scrap. Let's just make sure that it is enough. So I'm going to need about this much material. So I'm going to give a little bit extra. I'm going to cut somewhere over here. Plastic wrap, actually good idea, very good idea. I might use that. It doesn't need a lot of binding power. It just needs to contact. That's it. Yeah, glue it and wrap them together. You can use excuse me. Yeah, I'm seeing it over there. The session seal, the cooking stuff. Yeah, used it before. Might be a solution. Now I have a lot of fuzz on this side, so I think I'm just going to take some sandpaper and get rid of some of it. Important thing is to sand in one direction, as I've discovered. Okay. I'm going to quickly remove the stuff from my workbench onto the ground so that I can work cleanly. Just move this out of the way a little bit, and then I'll clean the garage later.
True. What am I thinking? Contact cement bonding.
Okay, so where did I put the leather? Oh, here. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to try marking.
No need to prolong.
Yeah, but it's actually a good idea because it might not it does bond instantly, but it takes some time to set as well. So maybe the wrap isn't such a bad idea.
And that would make sure that there are no marks.
Yeah, and it makes sure that there are no marks. So I'm just marking where. Where glue needs to go. Kind of marked over here, but didn't. I need to sharpen the pencil just a second. Sorry, Minerva, Albi. Hey. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare Minerva. Yeah, somewhere over there should be a good start. You know what? I'm going to stop the fan over you, just to make sure that the glue doesn't dry quickly. I think I'm going to do one side, glue it, stitch it, because I'm going to have to punch it as well. So I can't really do it on both sides at the same time. Which reminds me, I need this. I won't even try to sew it with a sewing machine. No, let's not. I'm in the lead. Well, in the lead. I'm 5-2. I'll take my wins today, you know? Okay, so let's put a bead of glue over there. And this will be the matching piece. Oh, that's a lot of glue over there. We'll try to wipe away some of it. Being very rough, you know. I should be a little bit more careful, to be honest. So, leave it for a couple of
It sounded like your
minutes.
pencil sharpener is run by a jet engine.
Yeah, it's because it's a belt sander. I sharpen my pencil on the belt and disc sander. I forgot to warn you about that. Sorry about that. I need to remind me tonight. I need to update the streaming software and I need to install limiters and compressors and so I don't blow like the eardrums of people. No, I terrified everyone. That's how I sharpen my pencils on the sander. So, tacky but not wet. Tacky but not wet. Let's see if there is any modicum of success. Well, it adhered so far. Okay, so we can see that has adhered just fine. Okay, just I can't really go in with the roller, so I'll go in with a small hammer. Okay, now once that is done, I can get slab and I can see a little bit of curvature. I can't really adjust for it yet, but I think once this sort of bends in place, it's going to be just fine. Thinking about maybe cutting this first and then stitching it later. I think that's the best way to go. So we'll have like a clean edge to work against. I'm just trying to be careful not to cut into the sheepskin because the vegetable tan leather that I'm using is pretty thick. In fact, I might have to go another time, but this time it should be much easier. And just follow the score line. There we go. Nice clean edge, which we can also bevel later on. But now we can make some noise. Okay, so I am going to go for a 1 diamond punch. I'm not going to be using the chisel punch today for the simple reason that the chisel punch might actually tear up some of the stitches worse. So I'd rather be safe in this regard. And since I don't have a matching piece, I can just follow the stitch line roughly. Okay. Okay, so remember, don't use a metal hammer on metal tools. So in this case, I'm just going to be using my rawhide mallet. Excuse me? Mini. Oh, Albi. Might need to give it a little bit of a harder whack, but I also need to I need some beeswax on this tool so that it slides a little bit easier in and out of the leather. Okay, incredibly important resource, beeswax. So any leather worker should have like a small supply. It's good for burnishing, good for keeping tools lubricated. Brilliant stuff. Yep. The glue also interferes with sort of the pulling out of the leather. the sound is too loud, let me know. I will lower the microphone. Actually, that might need another whack. Yeah. It's not normally the order of operations I would like to work in, because I prefer dyeing everything before stitching, but it doesn't seem like I have much of a choice, since I'm sort of going in blind. There's going to leave enough space for the last stitch over here. Okay. Come on. Okay, so I think it's best if we stitch this side first. Don't need a stitching pony. Okay. So I'm just going to try and adjust the camera in a way that shows the stitching process. Let's get this way, so just a bit better. I'm just going to affix this using some clamps. Should actually just move it a little bit closer. Shouldn't give us any trouble. Shouldn't being the operative word, but it's okay. Okay, so how are we going to get started with this? I think we can start from this. So we can sort of also press a little bit on the cushion, which is fine. We're going to take some needles. I have some blunt tip needles, perfect for sewing, and I'm going to be using a black stitch, black thread, I mean. Good again. So I'm going to be using black thread because it's the least likely thread to be affected by the dyeing later. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go 6 just in case. Thread is cheap enough. Need it, it's fine. Okay. Go on. Okay. So I threaded the thread through the needles and then pierced the thread with the needle itself, so it's also it just locks in on itself. Okay. Now let's find the first hole. That one. I see we're going to have some issues. So let me just turn them around, equalize, and now we can start going through our saddle stitch. tista' tħallih miftuħ tajjeb trid. Okay. Also, I prefer punching the stitching holes through the top side of the leather, okay, through the face grain, because it usually leaves a nicer finish. I have to say that so far, so good. Doesn't seem to be any problems with the stitches that we have made, and there doesn't seem to be any issue with the threads and needles. We just can hurry up a little bit now. This one side. Ooh, okay. Got caught on the clamp. Thread sometimes catches on the clamp. Okay. I'm noticing something here, that since the beyond the thread of the cushion, like the stitching line that we did on the cushion, beyond it there is no glue. So sometimes when I'm putting the needle in, it kind of catches instead of going onto the hole, but it's not so frequent. That's not such a problem. This leather is very supple, very forgiving, so it also it sort of lets you work with it with ease. Also, the good thing about the saddle stitch is that now the cushion will not depend on the stitches that we did with the machine, which is why I didn't want to make them by hand. They've taken a longer time to make, and they wouldn't have been used. I could theoretically just cut them out now, but I'm not going to do that. But I could. So that goes there. We're almost halfway through the first side that we need to stitch. Having a stitching pony helps a lot. So in the meantime, if you are just joining us, first of all, welcome to the Corso Workshop live stream. Today we are working on the second part of the guitar strap project, which we started last Sunday. Basically, my brother plays the guitar and he needed a guitar strap. Last time we did the belt, which hooks onto the guitar, and it works just fine. We've tried it, he's been using it for a week, but this time today we are making a shoulder pad so that he can use it with a little bit more comfort. As I said earlier, this is not my preferred mode of operations, like the order of operations, not my preferred way to do things, but it is the way that I think I have to do it right now, which is applying the dye after stitching. Usually I would have dyed the leather by now. I could have done it, to be honest. Since I have a limited supply of that mix of dye, I didn't want to waste any should I have to cut out the leather and replace it. Okay, let's move the cushion a little bit further in. We didn't leave any marks, which is brilliant, honestly. Okay, let's just close it there. And we're going to continue, and you can see we have a nice straight hand stitch going down the leather. Now I'm kind of torn between dyeing this black or the same kind of brown as the leather. I think black might be a little bit nicer, so we'll have like a black cushion. What do you think, Chief? Should we have this whole thing black or like surface brown and Huh? All thing in black? I agree very well. Just apply some resist afterwards. We won't have to apply antique. So that's one less step to worry about. Okay. We're almost at the end of this stitch line. Okay. Oh, we got stuff over there. It happens sometimes. The thread catches on like some edge or like a hook or something around, running around, or like the clamps holding this thing to the workbench. And be careful because you might rip the thread. This is very strong waxed thread, so there's not much chance of it ripping by something because of something like that. But still, you don't want to fray it. Okay, let's see. Okay. To finish up this stitching line, what I'm going to do is go back a couple of stitches. Right now, just go in here first. Okay, so there's the complete stitching line. Now I am going to go. What the hell is going on? Go back a line or two, a stitch or two. Okay. Then I'm going to tie a knot on the sheepskin side. So just going to go through there, and I'm going to tie a simple reef knot, or double overhand, double thumb knot, whatever you want to call it. You know the kind, the simple one. Okay. We've used a lot more thread than we needed. That's fine. So we're going to hook it from there. Move this out of the way for a bit. So. And just melt the edges. Perfect. Good. Okay, I'm just going to go over with the hammer on the edges just to make sure. Good. Probably the roller will work now that it is properly flattened. Yeah, I just need to make sure that the glue doesn't unbind too much over here. Seems like it's doing it over here. So anyway, we can always cut it and trim it down to size later. Okay, so that's one side. Now the idea, at first I was going to cut a slot and pass the belt through it, but it seems like it can be just as well to pass this like through this part and have it like in there. I don't know. Oh, so my idea is to, if I stitch the other side, the middle will be open so the belt can go through like so. Okay, and I don't have to cut any slots and worry about that. So I'm going to first of all stitch the other side and then trim everything to size to make sure that everything is fine. I'm trying to think whether I should, I should dye the inside now because I won't have the opportunity to do it later. Okay, so Dober. Let's use this one. Perfect. Do I have a Dober there? No. Okay. This is an alcohol-based leather dye. I should wear gloves. I always mess up after this. Okay. That's one. That is two. Okay. So I'm going to do the inside and then I'm going to dye the outside and the edges later. Okay? I will. Just going to sort of roughly finish where I'm expecting the something like this should be fine. Give it a few moments to dry up. Move it to the side by the sink, so if it spills in the sink. Also, so it doesn't dry up as much in front of the fan. So let us hydrate. Okay, cool. Okay, yes, definitely still wet. You can help it along with a piece of black cloth and just wipe out the excess. I just need this to look dark and black. It doesn't need to be perfectly saturated through. Let's just. My main concern now is to make sure that the glue adheres properly on both sides. I'm going to keep on using the gloves for now, and then take them off when I'm about to start stitching again. Okay, so cool, that's good. Okay, use that in a second. Okay, so gluing up next, I guess. So let's see where we need to glue up. I think right about on the edge. So yeah, let's do it like that. Okay, and we're going to eyeball it here. Okay, spread the glue around. Now the only interaction that I am aware of between the glue and the dye is that the dye rubs off in the glue because it's alcoholic and the glue obviously is not soluble in water, so it's not aqueous. So like you can see that the dye kind of gets picked up by the glue, which shouldn't be that much of an issue, to be honest. I almost feel like it's already almost there. So let's give it a few more minutes while I take off the gloves because I need to feel if the glue is ready. Woohoo. blacky but not wet. Let's see if we can align these two edges as best as we can. Okay, that's actually not bad. That's much better than I thought. So I'm just going to take a couple of clips just to keep everything in registration while I punch out the holes and while I prepare everything so that this doesn't slide off and start delaminating. Okay, once the stitch is done, I can cut this down to size, dye the whole thing black, probably edge bevel the ends. I mean, I might not, we'll see. But definitely dye it black and cut everything down to size. So yeah, okay, I am sort of like, you know, what do you call it? I can kind of see what I'm doing now, so it kind of makes sense to me, at least. Beer mug full of cold, so it wouldn't even need to refill, and just keep hydrating. Excuse me? It worked. At least I'm drinking water, not coffee. Coolio. Okay, so yeah, let us start with some hammer time. Diamond punch is here. Excuse me. Stop. Hammer time. That's how the dwarves in Warcraft 3 used to say it. It's hammer time. Okay, so wax first. Let's leave it cool. Let's go. I think we can start punching. Once I've done once I am past the point where I need to stitch, I'm going to reapply the clip to make sure that the tension doesn't undo the glue bond.
Man, you all made me realize I only had coffee and a bit of rum today. I should go get some of that.
I haven't had rum in a very long time. Excuse me? Yeah. Nice. Usually he offers me whiskey. Yeah. So you can notice already that this is sort of sliding a little bit, so I'm going to keep it in place with some clamps. I'm going to trim it down later anyway, so if I'm off by a little bit, it should still be fine. doesn't need this. Enough of that. We don't need this. This, we'll wait for it to dry and just peel off the excess glue. We don't need this anymore. What's the time? We're almost there. We're almost there. Last few steps and we'll be done, I think, in about 30-45 minutes. We should be okay. Cool. Okay. Goes in there. We don't need that. And we don't need that for now. So, let's get done with as well. Okay. Cool. I don't need that either. We just need to rethread these. I don't have enough thread in here. Just need to get some more. Hmm. I think this should be called the hydration live stream.
Yeah.
Hello, Minerva. Oh, hello. Good girl. Good girl. So I'll take her out for a walk after the live stream. Okay, so this is ready. Now we can start stitching. Once more. Oh, not very nice, the stitches at the back, but once stitched, I think they will look quite nice. Let me just do this. Okay. Oh, we will have another hole here. Yeah. So equalize this and we can go here. Okay, now all I am doing here is simply a saddle stitch, which I'm sure you've seen me do before, and there are plenty of tutorials to go about on the internet where you can learn how to saddle stitch. But an essentially is just going through the leather, two needles going into the leather in opposite directions, like crisscrossing, and the stitches that you make in the leather. And then sort of they tighten against each other. Of course, you need to tighten them by hand after like a couple of stitches. I like to tighten after every stitch, make sure I have a nice and consistent stitch line. Okay, I hope I have enough thread. I thought I had enough thread for this. So far, so good. No issues with sliding about of the layers. Just need to sort of feel my way through the sheepskin. Sometimes the needles catch onto it on the inside. That's why it's good to sort of have like one side taut. We're almost at the halfway mark already. When you have like this sort of aid, like a stitching pony or a Boom, hydrated. When you have something like a stitching pony or a stitching horse, it really makes your work a lot faster than trying to do it by hand or maybe holding it in a pair of clamps or I used to hold like pieces between my knees so while stitching them. Bless you. So yeah, this is much faster and much easier, frankly. Let's move our piece a little bit further in so we can continue working on it. We can remove this clamp. Not the most thrilling of exercises, stitching, I'll admit. It is the least favorite of my leatherworking tasks or activities, but it is rewarding because seeing a really nice stitching line is something else. And there are so many intricate stitches you can use. You can base off, you can take like the saddle stitch and imagine like after every stitch you just go over to the other side and do it again, so you'll have like these loops crossing the leather, and if you do it neatly it looks really nice. And there are several YouTube videos which you can watch on like different stitching techniques to embellish your leather with. It's just for this case it's not really necessary. We're almost at the end, and then we can do the final touches, which is trimming the leather to size, cutting, dyeing the leather black on top so it matches the cushion. I'm not sure whether I'm going to be burnishing the edges because I don't really have a rounded bottom, like the bottom surface. Okay, I think it's the last 5 stitches, including this one. Come on, get stuck sometimes. The needle head, the eye of the needle is a little bit too wide for these holes that I punch. Unfortunately, sometimes it gets caught on it. تصدق وانا اقرا الفانتر بكل لسه please. I'm dying of heat now. Okay, last stitching hole. That is the complete line, so I'm going to go back about 2 stitches in total. Yeah, thank you. There we go. There, tightened, and I'm going to once again going to burn and tie off on the lambskin side. Okay, cool, done. So we don't need this anymore. Okay, get rid of this stitching pony later. Close that. Now I'm going to tie a knot. Okay, and cut off the excess. Okay, press it flat with a metal edge. Okay, kind of a weird stitch line on the bottom. It looks really nice. Okay, so I'm going to kind of freehand this mini Leave the electrical outlet alone. Okay, just put it down to size. That's down to size. Don't know whether I should sort of cut off a little bit of this excess. There we go. Just going to clean it up a little bit. It's a rough job. It's not really precise. It's not how I like to work, and I suppose it got the job done though. Okay. See if I can. Okay, that's not so bad, but I need to sort of fix it a little bit down here. Yeah, okay. That's not bad. Somehow the stitching line isn't even, maybe because I didn't line it up, but it's not going to show as much because of the dyeing. So, okay, clips can be put away. And now we're going to dye the piece. It's final color. So I'll get the gloves again. And we're almost done. The last thing to do after dyeing is to let it dry for a few minutes and then apply a resist so it matches the sheen on the belt, on the strap that we made last week, because otherwise it tends to go matte over time, and I would like to avoid that at all, if at all possible. Yeah. There. This. More than half of it evaporated, but yeah, that tends to happen with heat. Okay. So I'm just going to go around. I'm also going to do the edges of the sheepskin so that it has a nice, even, consistent color. Okay. Okay. Now we can go around and dye the rest. And yeah, that's exactly what I am looking for. The black dye is very forgiving in the sense that it doesn't really streak as much as the water soluble dyes that I have. So it's really easy to apply and get such a nice even color. Honestly, going, passing over it once is enough. Doing multiple passes sometimes a little bit overkill. I can see that the leather is still absorbing the dye. As I said, it doesn't streak. So you can just take a piece of cloth, wipe it down, and probably just apply the resist on top of this already. Let's see if I missed any spots. Doesn't seem like I did. No. Okay, so looking mighty fine. Now let us return the excess dye back to the container so we can use it again. Okay, let's just rinse the cup in the sink so it can dry off while this piece is drying off. Okay.
Some time ago, I made a couple of little straps and you're going to tell me about what I used to dye the edges.
Excuse me?
Some time ago, I made a couple of leather straps. And you're going to tell me about what I used to dye the edges.
What did you do? What did you use then?
A Sharpie.
A Sharpie. Oh, you don't. Yeah. I have a story to tell about Sharpies and leather. So a couple of years back, during summer camp with the scouts, we made like a makers camp kind of thing. So it was maker themed. So we did wooden swords out of pallet wood. We did like wooden trays to serve like appetizers and dips on for the campfire night. We also made woggles, which are the scarves, or as the Americans call them, the neckerchief holders, sort of. In Malta, we wear these woggles. They're like a strip of plastic or fake leather usually, which goes around the neckerchief to sort of keep the ends together. And I decided that I wanted my scouts to make their own, so I got leather scraps with me, I got the whole toolkit with me, and we made leather woggles, which came out really nice because they customized them, they stamped them in their own designs, they carved them in their own design. It was brilliant. I still wear mine today, to this day. Now, one of the kids told me whether he could color it black, but I didn't have any dye with me at the time because I didn't get like the whole tool set with me. I just left the dyes there, here at home. And one of the scouts had a Sharpie, so we actually managed to dye the leather with Sharpie. And it makes sense because Sharpie is, I believe, an alcohol-based ink, which is pretty much what we have over here. So yeah, Sharpie is a very valid way to, expensive, but a very valid way to dye your leather. So I can feel that this is dry. I'm going to get some resist. Resist. Where is the resist? I have a resist paintbrush, but I cannot find it at the moment. Is it over here? No. I have a paintbrush just for the resist so that I don't affect any others, but I can't seem to find it.
I've never had a good Sharpie like that. Always looks perfect.
Always looks. Yeah, the trick is you need to let it dry and do multiple passes. At least that's what I noticed. And it's usually like that kind of leather dye that even this black, you've seen under the specific light, you can see it as purple. I can't find my brush. Okay. No. Since I cannot find my brush, I'm going to have to use another one. So, oh well. Worse. Okay. Alright, chicken said, yeah, you hold on quite enough. Never mind. It's cool. Okay. So, trug. Let's clean out. This is what we need. Clean the bottles so that we don't get any residue on the piece. And for this piece, I'm going for long strokes rather than short ones. I will alternate, but I will finish on the long strokes. Okay. I'm alternating just to make sure that I didn't miss any spot, but once that is done I will go for the long strokes and then wipe it off with a piece of cloth to remove the brush strokes, because otherwise they keep on showing. Well, maybe not so much on the black leather dye, but on the browns especially, they keep on showing. I'm going to wait a few minutes until this is absorbed by the leather. In the meantime, I'm going to clean out my brush and then come back to wipe this with a piece of cloth. You can already see the gloss on the leather. Okay, so we have this almost ready, and I'm going to wipe off the excess from it. That looks very, very nice. I'm just going to buff it with a piece of, I think this is wool cloth. Okay, so now the idea is this. This slots in here, obviously. Okay. And this slots in here. Okay, now, oh wait, did we do it the other way around? Oh, no, like this, it's fine. It's good. Well, you really need a guitar too. Let me just go get the guitar quickly so we can see how this fits and if it's comfortable at all. Come on, yeah. Come on. Hey, good, yeah. So we have the guitar here. Let me just guitars here. You're not showing. Okay. Where? I'm not seeing you. Oh, just over. Okay. This goes in here. This goes in here. And these you can just hook them up using the buckle. It could do with a tongue keeper, but probably this is good enough for now. Let's see. Shoulder pad a little bit further up. Yeah. It needs some sort of forming, but the leather pad stays quite well there. Let's just a second. Let me just. Maybe you can see it on the other camera. Let's transition to this one. Yeah. It fits comfortably. The pressure of the strap isn't there anymore on the shoulder, and I think it can be adjusted a little bit. So maybe a little bit further forward. Yeah, it works just fine. Yeah, cool. Okay, I actually quite like this. It's comfortable. It slides a little bit though, so perhaps it depends how Sean is going to be playing with the guitar. But, I think this is better. I think this is an actual improvement. Cool. I used to play the guitars a long time ago. Forgot everything though. Anyway, so I'll leave this guitar here, and since I think we've spent more than enough time, it's 6:10 over here, and it's about time we started wrapping up this live stream. Okay, so that was quite interesting actually. It was quite an interesting experience. I went in not completely blind because obviously I knew the techniques, but I wasn't quite sure on how to execute the whole project. So that was quite interesting to me. Hey Sneaks, just in time for the closing statements. So yeah, I mean this shoulder pad thing was quite interesting to make. No worries, no worries, it's fine. But it was an interesting experience because I kind of learned a better way to go around this sort of project in the future. It does help to plan for something like this. It's also fun to just go and dive in head first, see where you end up. You may lose some materials and resources in the process, but you get you get your fun out of it, and for me that's worth it. If you weren't with us in the beginning when I was making some announcements, first of all, thank you very much for joining us. Secondly, tonight at 9:30 BST, that's British Standard Time, or 10:30 CET, Central European Time, I'll be a guest on the Maker's Waffle podcast, hosted by Andy Pugh and Jamie Reeder. So that will be quite interesting. So I encourage you, if you'd like to hear a little bit more about my making, how I got into it, that sort of thing. We have a nice discussion. I'm sure we've got a good couple of topics lined up. So I'm really looking forward to that podcast later on tonight, in about 4 hours or so. So there's plenty of time for you to join us. So yeah, that will be interesting. Kind reminder also that next week there will not be a live stream because I will not be at home. I'll be celebrating the Chief's birthday soon enough. I will be having some off time, some downtime from the internet, from Corso workshop, from my other projects that I am working on, the secret project. So it'll be nice to just relax, kick back, and just enjoy a weekend off. So I hope that I will see you the week after, when I shall resume my projects. I have a good couple of collaborations lined up. I still need to get started on with two amazing people. All three amazing people. Actually, got three collaborations lined up. Yeah, that will be quite interesting to see. One of them, especially one of them, will be quite funny and amusing. Let's just say it involves the puppies. It was another attire for Minerva and some friends. We'll get to it when we get to it later on. So there's that. I can't think of anything else that I just needed to communicate, to be honest. Just keep an eye out for any announcements. I'm working on a project, as I said. One of my collaborators on this project is Melissa from Up the Bobbin Atelier. It is not making related, but if you are a geek, I'm sure that you'll enjoy it. I can't say anymore. I don't want to spoil it or hype it up too much. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you very much for commenting. Thank you very much for participating in the discussion and for making me laugh a couple of times. Remember, hydrate, as Apisauria always tells us. I hope to see you in 2 weeks' time. In the meantime, I hope that you make some amazing stuff. I hope that you take care and stay safe. And frankly, just, have fun in the workshop. Any parting words, Chief? Bye. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Take care.